First up we have the Fountain Square area of Anfang, which is the main spawn area. The main points of interest within the Fountain Square area are the 3 objective-based portals that need completed in order to open up the barriers to other areas of the map, the Pack-a-Punch machine's location, the Altar of Covenants that is used to sacrifice corrupted hearts in order to upgrade your abilities, like mini perks they give you, and the Tome of Rituals, which is used to sacrifice corrupted hearts in order to upgrade your field upgrade. And lastly, there's the constant portal that remains at the end of the game when all objective-based portals have been completed within the map. The next area is the Panzer Column West area in Anfang, and the main points of interest in this area are that it leads to the trolleys, apartments, Main Street and the Fountain Square areas, all from this one location. It also has the perk fountain called Fiendish Fortitude, which increases your health, which is basically Juggernaut. Next up we have the apartments area of Anfang, which has a ground floor and an upper floor. The points of interest within the apartments area are an ether orb spawn location and destination, which is activated by one of the objective-based portals in the Fountain Square area, and there's also a perk fountain is located on the ground floor, which is diabolical damage, and there's also a speaking stone location which opens up the green portal, which is located in the command post area. Next up is the Panzer Column East area in Anfang. This area has access to the Main Street, Fountain Square, Theatre Promenade areas, and also access to the boiler room is in here as well, but it requires an objective portal to be completed first before it becomes unlocked. We also have the perk fountain Venomous Figure here, which boosts your regeneration speed, and also there's a couple of multiple intel pickups along the way here. Next up is the boiler room area in Anfang. It's quite a small area unlocked by an objective portal that's located just outside the front door, and it has an intel pickup location as well as the perk fountain containing Demonic Frenzy. It's quite a tight space, so yeah, you don't want to get stuck in here in the higher rounds, otherwise it's game over, man. It's game over. Next up is the command post area that was added into Anfang in order to link to the new map that was coming out, Terra Maledicta. So the green portal supposedly is what you go through later on to go to Terra Maledicta, and you'll also find craft in this area locked behind a door that's sort of sealed with a special spell on it that you can't open. Personally, I think he locked himself in there as he's too chicken to fight zombies, man, the undead man, and if it was me I would have just kicked the door down and dragged him out, but hey, the game had other plans. Next up is the Theatre Promenade and Trolleys area, and in here we have access just to multiple areas in the forms of the Panzer Column East, the Fountain Square, Courtyard and Theatre areas, and to be honest there's nothing too exciting happening in this area apart from linking one area to the next. Next up is the Theatre area, which consists of the ground floor and the upper floor, and the main point of interest here is mainly the perk fountain, which is Ethereal Haste, as well as there's a portal objective that is completed within this area once you're transported from one of the objective portals from the Fountain Square area to be completed in here. Next up we have the map Terra Maledicta, which is sort of an improvement over the Anfang map. However, there's still no main Easter egg to complete within it, which sucks a little bit, but yeah, basically in this main area, which is the temple area, is the main spawn area. The points of interest are the Tome of Rituals, Altar of Covenants and the Pack-a-Punch machine, and it also has the exfil location in this area. And when you spawn in, there's 3 portal barriers that need their objectives completed in order to open up all other sections of the map. The next area we come across is the Merchant Road area, which runs along the middle of most of the other sections within this map and pretty much is the central hub to pass through to get to other areas. It contains the location of the Decimator Shield and 2 objective-based portals that need to be cleared in order to get to either the Debris Field or the Spike area. It also contains links to the Spike, Debris Field, the Temple, Merchant Road East, West Spring and Merchant Road West areas, so it's quite an important area to open up. Next area that we have encompasses quite a few areas, and it's the East Spring, Radio Outpost, Fuel Depot, Tent and Merchant Road East areas are featured in this map. There's a war machine and free ray gun locked in a room with a spell sealing access to it in this area. There's also a perk fountain in the form of Demonic Frenzy, which increases your reload speed. There's multiple radio intel pickups, as well as a Speaking Stone location. There's a blue portal that appears after you activate the Speaking Stone dialogue in front of the Demonic Frenzy perk fountain, and will appear after you listen to them drone on and on, chatting away to you. Some of the characters in the game, and once they've finished chatting, the blue portal will appear. And there's also a yellow decimator shield crystal on the upper floor of the outside wall of the radio outpost, as well as a shovel pickup. The next area we have is the West Spring, Arroyo, Bazaar, Merchant Road West, Trainwreck and Market storage areas. So in this area contains one of the 4 yellow decimator shield crystals that needs to be destroyed, a Speaking Stone location, multiple intel pickups that you can see in the map there, and lastly there's quite an important antenna location in the top floor of the bazaar that needs aligned, as well as the perk fountain just around the corner from it called Diabolical Damage. Next up is the derailment area, which doesn't really have a lot in it at the minute, to be honest. It's just got a perk fountain called Ethereal Haste. It has a shovel spawn location, a couple of intel pickups, and there's usually multiple dig sites appear here for whenever you're looking for certain things, such as the antenna location that you need to dig up quite a few spots in order to find. So yeah, nothing too thrilling or exciting at the minute. Kind of like my voice, which I hope isn't boring you or putting you to sleep. So the next section is the Spike area, which has basically a perk fountain, which is Fiendish Fortitude. It has access to the debris field and also to the Merchant Road East and Storehouse areas. And the only significant thing really here is there's one Speaking Stone location, just under one of the wings of the downed airplane. The last area is the debris field, which basically has the perk fountain, venomous figure, an antenna realignment location, a shovel spawn, a Speaking Stone and intel pickup location, as well as access to the Spike and Merchant Road areas. So the next map is actually one of my favourites of all time, and it's a remake of Shino Numa, and it's called Shino Numa Reborn. And we'll finally get into the good stuff, and I've went back to the round base maps at this point. Yay! Also, there's finally an Easter egg to talk about, as there was pretty much bugger all in the previous 2 maps, which was a bit of a disappointment. So in this first area, this is the main spawn area, and in the upper floor of the main spawn it has the perk fountain Fiendish Fortitude, which is basically Juggernog again. There's multiple intel pickup locations. There's 5 rampage inducer lights that need shot in a specific order that's shown in the map with the yellow and black icons with the numbers on it, and these need shot in this order in order to activate the rampage inducer. And there's 4 wall gun buys in this area, so you're spoilt for choice for weapons at the start. So the next area is the ground floor of the main spawn, which links to all of the 4 exterior areas within this map. It has a red energy orb location that can only be seen with zombie vision, and to get zombie vision activated you need to drink the blood from the empty fountain near the flogger machine. So to fill up this fountain you actually need to get kills with a flogger trap when it's activated, after you've spoken to the blue orb that you see when you complete the ceremony for the stone monolith. Other points of interest in this area are the vacuum tube recharge location point. This can only be charged after round 15 when Zabala spawns in, and we need to use one of her attacks that she deploys to charge this device. There's also one of 3 cipher wheel parts in the dormitory area here, along with a flogger trap and an exfil location. Next up is the exterior area for the comm room. And this has a green electrical box in the centre of the swamp where whenever you're inside the fishing hut you'll find a part that you can pick up called the weapon barrel, and this actually belongs to the Wunderwaffen DG2 wonder weapon. So you can attach the barrel to this green electrical box in the centre of the comm room exterior, and it activates a 60-second defend objective basically where you need to defend the radio tower and the box from being destroyed by zombies. It also has the Altar of Covenants located here, as well as access to the comm room interior, the main spawn building's ground floor, and access to the dig site area. Next up is the comm room interior, which has a broken radio or check radio location that basically needs a charged vacuum tube in order to get it working. There's a secret Easter egg song location in the form of a black telephone highlighted on the map there that whenever you just go over to it and hold the use button on the phone, it'll start playing the instrumental version of the one. There's also an electrical fuse pickup location, as well as an electricity trap that covers the front door, and a mystery box spawn location are the main areas of interest here. Next up is the dig site area, which has 2 relic mirror pieces that need put together, blue energy orb podiums, the pack-a-punch machine, the cipher wheel location, which is one of 3 throughout the map, the blue energy orb itself that appears here, and the main boss fight location. It also links to the storage hut exterior and the comm room exterior areas. Next up is the doctor's quarters exterior area, and we have here a stone monolith that has a ruin spell originally cast on it, and in order to get the spell off it you basically need to kill 3 boom shriers next to it in order to remove the spell. And we use this stone monolith to insert the 3 cipher wheels that we found dotted around the map into it and put them in the correct order. There are also 4 podiums that activate a lockdown after the cipher wheels have been inserted into the stone monolith and arranged in the correct order. There's also a bunny part location, and there's 3 parts in total in this map. Whenever you collect all 3, you're rewarded with a fire sale for 30 seconds and a ton of cash in the form of 5,000 points. Parts are only visible of the bunny in zombie vision mode, and there's also a zipline location in this area. The next area we'll have a look at is the doctor's quarters interior. In here we'll have another cipher wheel part location, one of 3 that's in the map, an encryption key, a perk fountain, a mystery box spawn location, as well as the mini Tesla coil trap that covers the front door again. The next area we'll take a look at is the storage hut exterior, and there's actually not a lot going on in this area. There's mainly access to the storage hut interior area and to the foyer area, can barely say that word so I can, and also access to the dig site, and of course there is an ammo box here as well. Next up we have the storage hut interior area. In this area we have the buildables table for assembling the parts for the wonder weapon in this map, which is the Wunderwaffen DG2 wonder weapon. We also have a perk fountain in this area, a broken trap that needs a fuse replaced in it in order to get it to activate, as well as an intel pickup and a mystery box spawn location, and also a gun wall buy. Next up we have the fishing hut exterior area. In this area we'll have the Tome of Rituals, Samantha musical doll possible spawn locations for one of the 2 Easter eggs, musical Easter eggs that's on this map, a bunny part spawn location that can only be seen while you're in zombie vision mode, and access to the fishing hut interior and to the flogger yard, as well as the flogger trap itself can be activated from this side. And last but not least we'll cover the fishing hut interior area for Shino Numa. Even though this area is quite small, it is quite busy. We have a perk fountain location here, a mini Tesla coil trap, a pickup location for one of the parts for the wonder weapon on this map, that's the Wunderwaffen DG2, and it's the weapon barrel part in this area. Multiple intel pickup locations, Samantha's Lullaby Easter egg song mirror spawn locations, as well as Samantha's doll that spawns at the end once all the mirrors have been shot in this area, and you walk up to it and hold the use button to activate the Easter egg song called Samantha's Lullaby. So next up we have my second favourite map of Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies, even though it should have been really what Terra Maledicta should have been from the start, is the Archon it's called, which is a round-based variation basically of Terra Maledicta with some very minor changes physically to the map. The main spawn area again is the temple area, and the main things here are the pack-a-punch machine that needs 2 machine parts retrieved from it that are highlighted on your HUD as soon as you spawn into this map from the spike area and the derailment area, and then they need assembled onto the pack-a-punch machine, which will activate a sort of challenge that you need to complete by killing zombies simply near it in order to make it rematerialize. There's also build skulls in this area, 5 of them. They need shot in a particular order in order to activate the rampage inducer on this map, as well as a portal that appears twice that takes you to the Dark Ether and also to the end boss fight in the Dark Ether itself. Next up is the Merchant Road area, kind of like Terra Maledicta, that connects the whole map centrally to all the other areas. So this bit has changed a wee bit, so there's no direct access to the temple. It's been replaced by a solid wall, and some of the barriers have become ritual barriers instead, where you need to complete the pack-a-punch machine by getting the 2 machine parts, doing the challenge, charging it up and letting it materialize and completing that ritual, and these barriers will come down in the process. There's also an obelisk, one of 3 of them that spawns here with 3 challenges throughout the map, and the challenge in this area is called the Trial of Mindfulness. There's also multiple dig sites here where you dig up the red orb with the shovel so that it flies onto the wall just beside the mystery box spawn location, and there's like a cipher challenge where you have to remember the red orb symbols in order, and then these then display on the ruins that appear later on in the ground, and you need to secure the ruins that have symbols on top of them in the order that the red orb shown you. Next up we have the debris field area. In this area we'll have one of the 3 obelisks scattered throughout the map for the Trial of Resilience. We also have 2 spawn locations for the siphon cores that spawn as part of the Trial of Resilience challenge. There's 2 red glowing crystals in this area that need shot in order to activate the red orb within this area. The Decimator shield is also located here. The parched fountain that needs to be filled up with blood from the siphon cores from the Trial of Resilience, where you use the Decimator shield to kill the siphon cores and then fill the chalice that you're carrying around top of the blood and deposit it into the parched fountain. There's also a fast travel portal that appears in this area that takes you back to Next up is the derailment area, where we have a red orb spawn location where you need to sacrifice a pack-a-punch weapon in order to activate the trial in this area, and the trial in this area is called the Trial of Sacrifice. There's also 3 torch locations in this area, and these 3 torches need to be lit in order to activate the red orb within this area. There's also 1 of 2 pack-a-punch machine parts that can be picked up here on top of the train carriage that's toppled over on its side in the central area. There's also a fast travel portal, a ethereal haste perk fountain here, mystery box spawn location, ammo boxes. The next area we'll take a look at is the East Spring area. This area encompasses a few others within it, which are the tents, fuel depot, radio outpost and outpost courtyard. In here we have the Cursed Officer's hat spawn location, crafting table, perk fountains, mystery box spawn locations, multiple wall gun buys and ritual barriers that can be taken down as well. So the next location we have up are the upper floors of the radio outpost as well as the fuel depot, and the main points of interest here are the Altar of Covenants is in the fuel depot upper floor along with the Speaking Stone at this location. The radio outpost only has an ammo box and the new musical Easter egg, which is probably the easiest one I've ever came across, and it's all you need to do is walk up to a guitar. It's leaning against the wall and hit the use button 3 times to strum 3 chords and it'll activate the new musical Easter egg. Next area we'll have up is the Spike area. So this area hasn't really changed much since Terra Maledicta, and it has a mystery box spawn location, ammo boxes, pack-a-punch machine part 1 of 2, perk fountain location called Fiendage Fortitude, as well as one of the 3 siphon cores spawn locations for the Trial of Resilience that's activated within the debris field, and it also has access to the debris field on the Merchant Road and Storehouse area. Next up we have the West Spring area, which has a couple of sub areas such as the Bazaar, Merchant Road West, Market Storage, Train Wreck and Arroyo areas. It's changed a wee bit. Some parts of the central building have been closed off, like access to certain parts, and some other bits of which were freely open before now have a ritual barrier in place, which is to do with the Pack-a-Punch machine ritual needing completed in order to remove these. Most importantly, it has the Tome of Rituals located in the market storage, as well as multiple intel pickups, shovel spawn location, ammo boxes, mystery spawn location, and multiple wall gun buys along the way. So the very last area of the Archon Zombies map is the Bazaar upper floor area, and the most important part here is the Cursed Skull location, which is part of the Trial of Resilience from the debris field area. It also still contains the perk fountain for diabolical damage. Hi guys, well, I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and if you'd like to see more maps, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to visit the blog at CODZOMBIFIED.blogspot.com. Thanks very much.